Hello everyone. Today I have sort of a different video for you all. Um, I am a huge fan of anything to do with horror. So I decided why not make Lego horror stuff. So I thought I'd show you my collection. You've probably seen most of them from my other videos, but some of them I don't think you've there are definitely some you haven't seen. So yeah, here they are. So I'm going to be doing this from where they're from. Some of them, or one of them, is from a movie. Others are from games or something else. So first we're going to start with Samara Morgan from the Ring. So there she is, and I have a little TV for her as well. She's probably one of my favorites out of the ones that I have. Uh, I just really like the way she looks as a Lego. Um, so there she is, Samara Morgan. She was really simple to make. I just used some white legs. You can find those in almost in like a ton of different Lego sets. I also used Han Solo's shirt from the Carbonite Chamber set. And I used, let's see if I can get off. Here we go. I used a black head. It's just a standard black head, no printing. I don't remember where I got this head, but I'm sure you could like order it online or something. And then I used hair from a Centaur from the Harry Potter set that has Grop in it. I forget what it's called. The Forbidden Forest set, I think it's called, actually. So, there's Samara. The next ones I have are from Creepypastas. So there are two. We have first Slenderman. There he is. He's also one of my favorites because he was the first one I made, firstly, and secondly, Slenderman was like one of my first run-ins with horror, so this one's very special to me. So how I made him, I just used 4 1x1 little tile things, and I put 2 on each foot, and then those are just standard black legs. And then I used the body is from the Cloud City set, the Lego Movie Cloud City set. Obviously I switched out the hands, but and then the head is from, I believe, Sensei Wu's Dragon set from Ninjago. And that's Slenderman. He's pretty standard, pretty basic, but I really like him. Hey guys, this is a few days after I recorded the video that you're watching, and while I'm editing, I just realized I made some changes to 2 of my horror figures, and I made 2 others. So here's a change to Slenderman, and I'll put this in whenever there's one that's changed. So here's Slenderman. He's usually depicted with weird tentacle things, so I made those. And yeah, they were really easy to make. I just used one of those back things from one of the Outriders from the Marvel sets. I used 4 of these little connector things, and then 4 little levers. So there we go, there's Slenderman. And then the next thing I have is the rake. This is probably my least accurate Lego, because it was hard to make him in the first place, but he was like the second one I made. So I mean, and I was younger when I made this, so you can excuse me for that. I used standard white legs, like with Samara, a mummy torso, and then a skull head. So that's he's probably the easiest to make out of all of them. So yeah, there's not much to say about him. So there we go. Hey guys, back again. And so this time the rake was changed. I added two little claw things from an Outrider from some of the Marvel sets, because the rake is usually depicted with long claw-like fingers. So there he is. Okay, so I made two new horror figures. One isn't really a figure, but here they are. The first is Jeff the Killer. I just used, for him, I used some standard black legs. I used Hermione's hoodie from the Hogwarts Express 2018 set, I want to say. I used a white head, and I used Kylo Ren's hair. And then the knife is really simple. You can probably figure out how to make that if it'll focus. I don't know if it'll focus. But anyway, there's Jeff the Killer. And then next I have SCPs. So I'm going to start with my favorite SCP, SCP-049, the Plague Doctor. I think it looks pretty cool. There's not really much to say about it. It's my favorite SCP out of I think there are like 6,000 of them. Out of the 6,000 SCPs, this one's my favorite. It's really cool. To make him, or it, I don't know, whichever one you want. I used the body and legs, and I think cape, from the Kylo Ren TIE Fighter or TIE Interceptor or whatever set. So this is Kylo Ren's body and legs, and I think cape, but the black cape is pretty standard. You can get it anywhere. For the hood, I used from the Dementor from the Harry Potter set, the Hogwarts Express. And then I used, for the head, it's hard to tell, but I used just a white cylinder piece, and I used hot glue to glue on one of those little like claws or fangs or whatever. And that's how I made SCP-049. And then next we have SCP-999. It's also one of my favorites. It's kind of hard to explain this one, how I built this one, since it's not like a normal minifigure. So if you want a video on how to make SCP-999, let me know. Let me know in the comments. So here it is. I have like a little piece right here so that you can pick it up. It's not supposed to like really be attached to this. This is just for like a slime trail it leaves as it slithers by. This is the actual SCP. Yeah, it has its arms up for hugging, because, you know, if you know SCP, then you'll probably know this is the friendliest SCP. And then the next SCP is SCP-096, the Shy Guy. For this SCP is kind of, it's not really too complicated to make. there are some pieces that you might not have, like the torso piece. You might not have. That's a skeleton torso piece. But other than that, for the feet, I just used 1x2 or two 1x2 pieces, and then for the legs, I used a standard like kind of stick piece with one of those little connectors on the bottom. I don't know how to describe those. And then I used 4 cylinder pieces for the rest of the leg, and 2 of those little clasping pieces. I don't know if that's focusing or not, but I used 2 of those. And then, of course, a skeleton body and a skull head. And then for the arms, I used another one of those little fang things. I used one of those pieces from like the flick missile things. I have one right here, one of these, and a cylinder piece, and then one of those white. I don't know how to describe that. And that's SCP-096. The next SCP is SCP-173. This is a cool SCP. The design is my own. It's kind of fragile in some places, but I really like it. It looks pretty accurate, I think. And if you want to know how to make it, I'll put in the top right-hand corner a link to the video where I built this for you guys. That's all I have to say for this one, really. There's not really a lot to say. And then my final SCP is a big one. It's SCP-914. It's the refining chamber thing. So, here, I'm gonna move this base plate. It was kind of difficult for me to make, but, I mean, I did it in the end. It doesn't look that fantastic, but I like the way it looks. I like the way it looks. So, you can see right here, we have all of the different settings. They're hard to read because I have terrible handwriting, and if you can move this to any one of them. I just have it set at 1:1. And then these chambers, this is the input chamber. I built this keeping in mind that I wanted to do a Lego stop motion for this. So it doesn't have any like sliding doors. I have it on this little thing right here. So as in a stop motion animation, I could just move it one stud, take a picture, move it another stud, take a picture, and another stud, and so on until it's open. And that would give the illusion of it opening. There's nothing inside. It's kind of hard to see in there, but trust me, there's nothing inside. The back is there's no like anything like this SCP would have back here, because I don't have all the pieces, but I mean it looks bad from the back, but from the front it looks a bit better. So those are all my SCPs. Now, my last Legos in the horror genre are by a man named Trevor Henderson. If you don't know who he is, but you like horror, you should go definitely check him out. I don't know if he has a YouTube channel or anything, but he creates these kind of horror-like creatures, and and I made some. I made 3. So first we have Siren Head, probably one of his most well-known creations. There it is. It's not that big, but it's, you know, it's fine. So for the legs, I use 2 of these pieces. If you can see that right there, that arm piece, I use 2 of those for the legs. And then I use 4 cylindrical pieces. They can be the same color if you want. I just used 2 different colors because I didn't have enough pieces. And then for the body and part of the legs, I used the skeleton robot from the Bad Cop, like ship thing from the Lego movie. And then I used one of those little clasp things for one of the arms, and then, you know, one of those pieces. And then I used another one of those clasp things for the other arm. And I used, again, one of those little flick missile things. And then I used, like, a cone piece for part of the head. And then I used 2 of those, they look like little gun pieces. I used 2 of those for the head, and then 2 more cone pieces. So that's how I built Siren Head. And there he is. Or there it is, I don't know. And then next is my most recent horror creation. You haven't seen it yet because I just made it like half an hour before I started filming this. I might change a little bit of it at some point, but I don't know. But this is just what I have so far. So it's the bridge worm that Trevor Henderson created. So I use these little arm things so I can make the arms and the hands. And I drew on that face using Sharpie. And if you take off this, it's on those little things like that. If you take that off, it reveals another face. You know, like the actual bridge worm does. And there it is. If you want to see how I built this, tell me in the comments that you want to see a video on how I built this, and I will do it. If you guys really want me to show you how I built all of these, I can show you. So here it is, Bridgeworm. And now my last Lego horror creation. This one's one of the bigger ones, so I'm going to move this faceplate out of the way, and then I'm going to move this in. It's the Smile Room, again by Trevor Henderson. I saw a video on how to make this, and I really wanted to make it, so I decided I would. I'll put that video in the description for you. It looks a little different from when I first posted a video on it. As you can see, I added those pieces. I'm trying to think what looks different. I think that might be it. It's a little out of focus there. So here it is, and if you saw the video where I made this, well, not the video where I made this, but the video that I posted about this, you'll know that the mouthpieces can move. It's really simple it's hard to see, but there are these little flat pieces holding it together, and that allow it to do this. If you watch the video that I'll put in the description, then you'll know how it works. So yeah, there it is. And then my last figure is a Trevor Henderson creature. It's kind of larger, and I won't need this base plate. Some of you may recognize it. Long horse. It's kind of big. There's the head. That black stuff right there is supposed to be the hair that's on it, as well as those black things. Those are supposed to be the hair as well. And then I just have it coming out of a doorway. And then I just made this structure out of some spare pieces. It doesn't look great, but, you know, I made it late at night. So, there we go. There's Long Horse. Hey everyone, it's me again. This is like days later. I've made 3 more Trevor Henderson creatures, so I'm going to show them to you here. So the first one that I made is Peeping Tom. So I painted this whole thing. I painted some legs brown, the same with the body, and then this long thing, and then a head, and then I just used Sharpie to do the face. I really like how it turned out. So there's Peeping Tom. The next Trevor Henderson creature I just made recently is Come Sit With Me. If you don't know what it is, it's just like a dark figure sitting on a bench with 2 glowing eyes. So that's what I made here. I used standard black legs. I painted a torso completely black because I didn't have a straight up black torso. And then I used a Jawa head from Star Wars. So there's Come Sit With Me. And then the last figure I made, I made this like 5 minutes before filming or recording this, and I've spent all morning on it. It's like 1 or 2 in the afternoon, and I painted this one as well. And just letting you know, I'm probably going to make more Trevor Henderson or horror creatures, but these are just what I have so far. So here we have the Light Lurker. It's not perfect. The actual thing is white, but I didn't have any white paint, so I just used the closest thing I had. I don't remember what this color is called, but it's a really pretty color. So I used legs that I painted, a body that I painted. So of course you can use legs and a body from anything. And then I used one of those 1x1 modified bricks with that little hole in it, and I put a Spider-Man web in it. So that's the Light Lurker. So those are all of my Legos from the horror genre. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like. And if you would like to see how to make any of these, leave a comment saying so, telling me which one you want to see. And I reply to every comment I can, and I read every comment. So if you want to see how to build some of these, just let me know in the comments and I will make a video on it. So I hope you all enjoyed. I will talk to you in the next video. Bye!